Ready for M2KC versus Charlotte Phoenix here in game number 1 on the Grand.
Let's see the comps. Yeah, that's what we wanted.
Perfect.
Wait, what was that giggle? Was that a real giggle, Aya?
No, I was just laughing at, like, I don't know, I could just imagine you in your chair, like, giddy.
Yeah, but I feel like you forced that laugh to humor me.
It was, okay. Jeez.
It sounded authentic, I think. That was
Thank
authentic.
you, God. That was funny.
All right, so match is starting. We got a full blind onto Brian, full kidney shot onto Drake. Big damn, Jamila with the combust. Drake's gonna trinket Karma immediately. Where is the Bob Korlik? Korlik is stuck in a paralyze right now. Not gonna be able to find it here. Jamila continuing the chaining with the Ring of Frost. Drake with the double leg sweep. Nick now in trouble. Korlik pressed the sack. Not gonna do it. So actually, Nick is gonna be able to get out of that stun lock and just get the. That was a really nice vitality counter by Korlik right before, actually. So he's going to be able to hold on to that sacrifice. And now they're going for Brain here. You get a nice kidney shot, but counter Dragon's Breath by Ceralium is going to be enough to keep Brain alive here. I do believe grapple weapon as well. That should be enough to keep Nick off of Brain. And now they could potentially look to set something up here onto Nick instead of anything.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see if they can get it done. Brain now into a full polymorph, and Drake is on the run. They're trying to go after the Windwalker Monk. Ceralium there, diffusing the situation, getting a polymorph on Nick, Dragon's Breath on Jamili, but the crowd control is not over, and Drake is in a lot of trouble. Diffuse magic out of the stun. Hammer of Justice on Brain. The crowd control is unending from the Charlotte Phoenix. Drake barely holding on. Now going aggressive onto Jamili, trying to reverse the pressure just a little bit, and we'll have to see if he's going to be able to do it. And it doesn't look like it. It looks like Korlik is able to stabilize Jamili. There's just no crowd control yet. Good positioning here by Korlik, avoiding all that crowd control. And once again, it's going to be, it's time for the Charlotte Phoenix to kind of strike back.
Korlik pre-sacrifice to paralyze. Nice play there. Drake gets swapped doing a smoke bomb. 1 second left. Will he be able to get in line of sight? Brain in the polymer pre-sacrifices it. Excellent plays from both Paladins on these rosters. This game could end at any moment with the explosive potential of each side. Nick rolls in with a double garrote. Swap over to Brain. Trying to catch him off guard here a bit, but I feel like Brain, and maybe I'm commentator cursing him, is one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult Paladin to actually kill. I feel like we almost never see him go down. Jamili, swap to Temporal Shield, absorbed all of that damage. We complimented him last week coming in with a fiery start. Looking to show off here today as well against M2KC as both sides stabilize. Double stun lock engagement by Charlotte Phoenix. Jamili trying to get that Ring of Frost around the corner. Beautiful blink placement. Landing that Ring of Frost. Drake is now alone. He portals, but he portals on top of Korlik. They go for the Karma. They actually do pop off the Karma, I believe. So Drake's just going to line of sight. Brain sits through a blind. Diminishing return sap. Unless they have a stun out of this, I think Brain should recover. A Garrote, actually, maybe another swap over to the Paladin. Grapple weapon by Drake prevents Nick's assault, but he's still going after Brain. Are they actually going to keep trying to go after Brain? Korlik now in a Hammer of Justice. Ceralium looks to get a polymorph. He finds it. Jamili anticipates the attack. Temporal Shields, all of that damage. But now Temporal Shield is over. They don't get the repolymorph. They go for a Blinding Light instead. Looking to burst down with that. Triple leg sweep. Excellent timing here. Beautiful punish by M2KC. Look at the damage. Korlik barely recovering.
Beautiful sheep there as well by Jamili. Once again, getting another DR sheep here. But Drake already in a very defensive position, healing himself up, and now he's going to go and look to get aggressive. And M2KC are actually pulling ahead a little bit right now. Big dress connect. Korlik in a sheep. Jamili, Car proc should be the ice block as well. And Korlik trinketed in the midst of those things as well right there. So basically, almost every cooldown except that Divine Shield that forced from the side of Charlotte Phoenix. M2KC are very happy with that exchange.
Yeah, they absolutely are. I mean, Trinket, as well as the Cauterize, as well as the Ice Block. Now Charlotte Phoenix looking to get something from Brain, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Super Tease thinks he's one of the best Paladins at surviving, so Brain obviously going to be very, very durable, is managing to hold on. Now Hammer of Justice on Korlik. It's going to be Jamili that's in trouble, and there's the Divine Shield. And all of a sudden, things are looking really good here for M2KC. They've got all the pieces into position to close out this game. And I think it's only a matter of time. We're going to have to see a preemptive sacrifice from Korlik or something, or insane peels from Nick if they want to keep Jamili alive.
Oh, triple blind, triple ring, poly follow-up. Drake diffuses, denying the combustion of Jamili despite that excellent setup. Drake totally shuts it down. Going for the Karma too, maybe just to be safe, but that does leave him open to a smoke bomb. he won't have many options. They can actually cut through all of Brain's defense if they catch Drake in a good smoke bomb. Brain is positioned far away. This would be the perfect time. They're waiting for that kidney shot, but Brain charges in. Pre-sacrifice. Oh man, Korlik did exactly what he needed to do to survive in this position. But now the sacrifice is over, and they're continuing to push through. Huge damage done to Jamili. Korlik still polymorphed into the blinding light. Temporal shield goes off at half health. Is Jamili going to be able to hold on? Drake is staying on target with 1 second left. Divine Favor available. Korlik doesn't have the time to go for it. He pops the Divine Favor. Don't even know if he managed to get the heal off in time before Spell Steal happened, but Vitality Conduit going to stabilize Jamili here. And Charlotte Phoenix stay alive in a check position that should have otherwise been the end of the game. They're still not in a great spot, but that smoke bomb in their back pocket could be a good counter assault.
Very, very nice. They get a sheep here onto Korlik. He trinkets out, trying to heal Jamila, but he gets leg swept. He bops himself as well, but the damage is too much. Drake is all over him, looking to take game number 1. DR Ring of Frost, is it going to be enough? I don't know how Jamila is staying alive, but Korlik has the Avenging Wrath, and he is going to be able to keep him alive. Lion goes out onto Brain. The Touch of Death is taking on Jamila, but Drake has to run.
Drake.
No cooldowns for Drake. Smoke bomb available. Nick is going to edge it.
He edged it
right there. Let's see if they have the damage, though. It doesn't look like it. Drake is going to survive. Korlik is in a crowd control right now. If Australian can get this Ring of Frost or Sheep, it's going to be GG. But Jamila brings the Dragon's Breath and resheeps him under the spell, shutting that setup down in its tracks. And somehow, some way, Charlotte Phoenix are going to be staying alive for a little bit longer, guys.
Yeah, they definitely are, but still with no cooldowns, they can't be feeling too safe. There is, of course, a combustion available for Cerulean, but they're going after Drake. He trades out the Touch of Karma onto Jamili. There's no Blessing of Protection. They're actually just trying to shred through it. Jamili pops a combustion. I feel like that was a little bit of a waste there, but at least it forced Drake into a defensive position. Now, M2KC, they're going to be looking to close it out. There is the double leg sweep. Temporal Shield is there. Do they have the crowd control? Full Hammer of Justice on Korlik, but he gets the Blessing of Sacrifice. Very nicely done there by Korlik. Now what are they going to do? Jamili should be able to survive. They're looking to reverse the pressure. Here it is. And Drake might just fall. The Charlotte Phoenix, they managed to hold on. Can they actually take Drake down? He gets behind the pillar and sniped. Unfortunately for M2KC, what a close call. And what a great game number 1 between these two teams.
Explosive game from both sides here. Looked super close a couple of times on both sides of M2KC and Charlotte Phoenix. In the end, though, Charlotte Phoenix taking that victory for game number 1, Zico.
Yeah, that was really back and forth game. They made a bit of a defensive overlap, and M2KC almost ran away with it, but Korlik had some excellent preemptive sacks. His Jamili had a couple of excellent pre-temporal shields, and honestly, I think the biggest reason to why they didn't die when they were in that check position with no cooldown is the fact that Nick actually blinded Cerulean, full defensive blind, and Jamili survived on 5% or something there. I really thought he was going to go down, but Nick was the reason why he was able to survive, and that basically prolonged the game long enough for them to actually be able to win here. So that was crazy. This is right before, you see Jamili right here, Nick's blind cool. You can see it right there to the right, 1 minute 30 seconds during the setup. He popped it onto the mage, and that was definitely some crazy stuff coming out of Nick. And then here, the edge on the smoke bomb as well, almost preventing that Divine Favor from going off. If they had a little bit more damage, like a Dressed or something, could have definitely been a kill there onto Drake. And this could have been a kill onto Jamili if he doesn't pre-temporal. There's just so many highlights throughout this game in general. But ultimately, it was Charlotte Phoenix that were able to get that last CC chain and to take the win. And even here, Brain had 1 second left on his sacrifice before he got sheeped. So it's just so back and forth.
That's got to be absolutely devastating. I mean, Jamili actually lived on 1% health for multiple seconds, too. If they had any damage, it would have been a different result. But the Charlotte Phoenix, they managed to hold on and claiming game number 1. I think they're going to be very happy with that, but I don't think that's the end of the story. I think this is going to be one of those matchups that is likely going to go to a game 5.
Do you want to stick with your prediction, though, Van, after game 1 with Charlotte Phoenix winning this series?
Yeah, I think so. I don't even know if I predicted that, but we'll go with it.
Didn't you say you said in favor of Charlotte Phoenix, I thought? Or am I losing it?
Maybe I did. I don't remember, but I would go. Okay. I would say that Charlotte Phoenix, they were looking good. But M2KC, I mean, these are the top teams. These are some of the top teams in North America, obviously. and they put on quite a show for us in that last game. I think game number 2 is going to be no different, very back and forth. And there was multiple close calls in that game where the result could have been different. And I expect the same thing in game number 2.
Yeah, we can see here locked in Ashamane's fall. M2KC and Charlotte Phoenix as well have both locked in their composition. Now that we know everything that's going to be played for this next game, Zico, do we want to make any comments on any predictions maybe on this next game, how we can expect it to see go? Is it going to be as close as game number 1, do you think?
Oh, I think it's going to be extremely close. I don't even know who necessarily has the advantage in this matchup. I would say it's a pretty even matchup. I think maybe the Asa Rogue has a little bit of an advantage, but it's going to come down to skill. Whoever plays better, if Seralium can shut down Jamili more than he gets shut down, or if Jamili can do vice versa. And it's going to come down to who has those clean setups. If Drake can get those big leg sweeps and try to blow Nick up, that can definitely pull them ahead. So we're just going to have to wait and see what these teams can do. And we have a little stat card here. Jamili, I noticed there's no arcane here. A little bit peculiar. Right?
Yeah, Jamili always just one of those really strong players, always just playing his position super well, super valuable member of any team that he does play on. We can see his 74% interrupt rate, one of the higher ones that we've seen, I think, today. So those are the stats for Jamili, 57% on Fire Mage. So definitely tune in if you want to see more of those stats from our players. But the game is started here. Charlotte Phoenix versus M2KC, 1-0 on game number 2 in Ashamane's.
I'm curious to see how they start this. Are they going to go Brain again or just straight Windwalker? Right now, they sap Paladin. They're going to go Windwalker, Kidney Shot. Beautiful timing here, but they break the sap. They go for Hammer of Justice anyway to try and carry this through. Diffuse Magic trades for Drake, but it wasn't for Combustion. That could be a big opening for Jamili. Double Blinding Light by Corlick. Good timing, but ultimately not pulling anything else other than Diffuse Magic. Combustion now pop for Seralium, going after Jamili. Jamili trinkets out. Tries to spell steal to strip it away, I would imagine, in the near future. Still not going for it, just polymorphing Seralium instead. Dragon's Breath onto Drake into the Kidney Shot, trying to stabilize. Corlick's in crowd control, so is Nick. Jamili's all alone. Corlick trinkets into a stun. Jamili blinks back, looking to recover with some big heals there, likely the Voodoo Totem. Corlick saves him. Polymorph on Brain. Drake on the back foot. Pre-Fort Bruise. It's just going to be back and forth, back and forth. This is going to be a high-intensity series, to be certain.
Yeah, and Drake only used his Fortifying Brew, so not the worst for him, but they did get Corlick's Trinket, and they have a sheep onto him right now. Seralium gets interrupted on the recast here, so he's not going to be able to get any more crowd control. Nick is going for the smoke bomb play here onto Drake. Drake takes massive damage, triple stun here coming out. Drake, I don't know what that fat heal was right there, but Brain is going to have to use something here. Blessing of Protection on himself right there to get out of that line, and he's going to heal him up with that Avenging Wrath, but still not out of the woods yet. Drake has to kite a little bit here. Nick is just all over him. Finally, he's going to get sheeped here. Seralium now swapping it to Corlick, but it breaks from Drake's Flying Serpent kick, and Drake is in massive trouble here. He got stunned up. He got a stun onto Brain. Do they have any crowd control for Corlick, though? Doesn't look like it. I do believe the Brain actually had his Hammer of Justice there, and he wanted to go for it, but that stun from Nick shut him down, stopped him in his tracks, and that's going to allow Drake to get out pretty cleanly from that stick situation.
Nicely done there by Drake, getting the double leg sweep. Good positioning. Full Hammer of Justice on Corlick. Seralium gets shut down. Nice Dragon Threat there by Jamili. Looking for a Polymorph. Unfortunately, unable to find it. Now are they just going after Brain? Brain could be in big trouble. Sacrifice damage. The Kidney Shot lands out of the Hammer of Justice. Can they get the Divine Shield? Brain manages to hold on. He sneaks away behind the pillar. Peel's coming in, and Brain doing a good job keeping himself alive. Charlotte Phoenix, they tried to take advantage of that situation, but unfortunately not able to really net too many more defensive cooldowns from Brain. Now once again turning their attention over onto Drake. Really finding crowd control onto Seralium. A full Blinding Light over onto Brain. Nicely done there by Corlick. Is there a Hammer of Justice to follow it up? Unfortunately, there is not. And now a full Polymorph actually sneaks onto Corlick, and Jamili's going to be on the run.
Well, let's see if he can stabilize here. Drake rolls in on target. Stun onto Corlick. He breaks the stun into a Dragon's Breath. Good follow-up by Seralium. However, Vitality Conduit is rolling. Jamili should stabilize throughout this polymorph. Nick feints any potential swap to himself. Oh, but they're stacked up for a double leg sweep, and I feel like Drake has been getting tons of punish with these double leg sweeps if he can keep this up. Brain now in a polymorph, though. Jamili pushing forward, trying to chase down Drake. Not able to really connect. He's kiting Nick. He pre-grapple weapons Nick, anticipating a stun here while Brain is crowd controlled. Rolls back on Jamili, avoiding Nick's assault, but now Brain is stunned up. Jamili falling behind a bit here. Polymorph on the Corlick. Temporal Shield triggers. Jamili spell steals it back instantly. Sacrifice trade for Corlick. He doesn't feel comfortable. He utilizes the Divine Shield in that position. He values the Cauterize more than his personal cooldowns because of that ineffable truth resetting them faster. I think that was a wise decision in terms of safety, but perhaps he could have gotten away without it.
Yeah, and we're gonna see Rain actually preemptive sacrifice there on that poly, so Rain's gonna be on the diminishing return and presumably gonna go a little bit aggressive here. He actually gets swapped to here. Brain gonna use his every man for himself to break out of that kidney shot. Doesn't want to be in a situation where he might have to use his bubble. Now Brain is gonna look for crowd control. He gets a Hammer of Justice onto Corlick, surrounds, looking for the sheep plus the Ring of Frost. They have him isolated here. Jamili might need to use something. The Temporal Shield is going to be enough here. Dragon's Breath comes out from Jamili. He goes for the sheep here, shuts around him down. Cauterize might trigger. He's going to trade out the Ice Block instead. Corlick with no sacrifice there. He didn't really have any heals to try to keep Ja from using that. So I think that was a pretty fair exchange. He's going to have to cauterize for later, but M2KC, they force out the first really big defensive right there, and also no bubble left on Corlick. So big opportunity here for M2KC, but Drake needs to survive right now. Bop on the Karma. Do they have any more crowd control? Doesn't look like it. Drake is going to stabilize for now, and now Jamili's in big trouble here, man.
Oh, he definitely is. It's the combustion, paralyzed, DR Sheep, Hammer of Justice, Dragon's Breath. Jamili getting lower and lower. Can they force out the Cauterize? He still has that cheat death. Defying death once again with a nice Temporal Shield. The Smoke Bomb drops down, and now it's Drake absolutely getting crushed. Brain rolls over, gets a little bit of healing on him, but Drake's still not out of it yet. The Divine Shield, Avenging Wrath from Brain, has to trade to keep Drake alive, and this Windwalker Monk can now look to get aggressive, but both these teams in terms of defensive cooldowns are absolutely running on fumes. Corlick gets caught into a blinding light, and let's see, what are they going to be able to do out of that? Is there any more crowd control? The sacrifice is rolling, so that was well done by Corlick, getting the sacrifice on the crowd control, full blind on Brain. Now Drake's in a lot of trouble. Cerulean looking to defuse. He ice blocks out of the polymorph to get a double Dragon's Breath. Might be the only reason why Drake is still alive, but now Cerulean could actually be a vulnerability in this matchup as well. Without that ice block immunity, the mage trade is relatively even.
Oh, double stun. Beautiful crowd control initiated by M2KC. Cauterize going to trigger. Jamili is burning down. There's really not much answers. Can a bot maybe slip through? Barely recovering with that Blessing of Protection Vitality Conduit. Corlick holds on by a thread for his team, but the window of opportunity is slipping. There's Karma coming up in 3, Diffuse in 7. A mage swap might be their only option. Do they see it as an out? They're going after Cerulean, trying to exploit that ice block earlier on. Cerulean Frost Nova's Nick. He's trying to reposition, looking for a polymorph. Blinks at the end of the cast. Both paladins in crowd control. It's going to be a race to the finish. Combustion popped on both sides. Jamili's ends just now. He's in trouble. No Cauterize, no block. Divine Shield up in 1. Divine Shield up in 1, and Brain barely wasn't able to save last game by 1 second. Corlick is going to be able to not save it by 1 second in game 2, and we're all tied up.
Wow, well played by both of these teams. They're playing so cleanly, and it's just coming down to those split seconds for that last game, that defensive almost back up, but M2KC going to take that game to victory, tying this series up 1-1, and it just definitely seems like at this rate here, Super T, is that it's going to go to a game 5.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 3-1 M2KC.
Oh, alright,
I think.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. The map was a big deal.
Nope, you already said it. That's what you went with.
Okay, I have to stick with it because I already said it.
Ben and Zigo, then I want to hear it.
What, predictions? Or
okay, so I think it's going to go to a game 5. Sid thinks it's a 3-1.
I could see both of those
Me
scenarios,
as well.
but one thing is for sure, M2KC is winning this. They are playing out of their minds right now. This series, just lock in the same comps. Let's go. Next game, I'm ready. It's 1-1. Let's be honest. You guys are not going to play Mage Lock anyway, so just lock it in and let's get into the next game. I'm ready, dude. This series is it's what I've been looking forward to the most throughout this weekend. Watching these two teams because they have a very aggressive style. They play very similar comps, and it's very fast paced. It's a lot of action, at the same time. A lot of plays happening at the same time, so it's very fun.
Yeah, it's really the series you love to see, especially when they're so closely matched, such as these two teams here. Then what do you think, though? Do you think M2C might be taking this one? They are down, like Charlotte Phoenix, they have to pick the next map, but what's their advantage here, do you think, going into game 3?
I really think at this point it's anyone's series. I think it's going to be a little bit too close to call. Charlotte Phoenix, Obviously, they've narrowly escaped. I mean, this series could have easily been 2-0 for M2KC if they had done, 5,000 more damage to Jamili. That's the difference between like a lethal strikes proc and not. So, really, really close game. We are going to a smaller map, so Hook Point. And I think the small map is nice. Charlotte Phoenix doesn't really rely on kiting as much as M2KC, so a big part of Drake on that Windwalker Monk is toolkit to survive is going to be his crazy amount of mobility, multiple rolls, the flying serpent kick, the transcendence. So in order for him to survive, he has to have a map which gives him a lot of space. And Hook Point, not as much space as Ashamane's Fall. So I think for Drake, this map's going to be a lot harder for him to actually survive these setups coming in from the Charlotte Phoenix. And I think that's part of the reason why Charlotte Phoenix decided to go for a small map like Hook Point.
They are going to be locking in Rogue, Mage, Corlick staying on Holy Paladin here. Do you think that this is like we like this map choice from Charlotte Phoenix on Hook Point. Is M2KC, though, going to be able to pull off a Game 3 win, do you think, Subtees?
This is why I wanted to take it back, because I was thinking, like, as they go to Hook Point, Windwalker doesn't get away too easily. Swapping to the Holy Paladin is also pretty easy. I mean, it was a main contributing factor to Drake being able to survive with all the space, so he's going to lose out on the space. I think if he uses Ring of Peace and he uses those fences on the side to try and prevent Nick from getting in on him with those walls, it could have potential. I think they could still do it, but this is easily going to be their hardest game, I think, in the series for M2KC.
How do you think they'll do on the side of M2KC? What do you think they're going to do against other teams? Do you think they're going to do sort of, we're seeing them play pretty strongly here up against Charlotte Phoenix. Is this going to be repeatable against other teams, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is their bread and butter, the Windwalker, Mage, Holy Paladin. That's what they're really high rated on the ladder. They've been playing it for an incredibly long time, so they have dampen strategies where they will just run laps and try and attrition players. They've got this aggressive playstyle nailed down. I would say that they're well-rounded, considering that this appears to be one of their only options in terms of comps. Strategically, they're well-rounded.
Yeah, and then, on the side of Charlotte Phoenix as well, they did come into this circuit a bit of an underdog. Now we're seeing them go up against M2KC pretty strongly. They did well last weekend as well for that Sunday, and this seems like this team, especially if you give them just a little bit more time, that could look really, really good by the end of the circuit, I feel like, here, Zico.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Van already said something similar, but I really do think Charlotte Phoenix is one of those teams that will qualify. And I feel the same way, actually, about M2KC. I think both of those teams have a really good chance of qualifying. And obviously C9. And then I think the last spot is going to be probably Space Station Gaming. It's crazy, but I don't know if Mystery Org actually makes it. Maybe. They have the same comp, so I don't know. It's definitely very competitive in NA. I can see at least 5 teams that I think should all qualify. But
yeah, I feel like especially some of those teams that may have been a little bit lower in terms of points are really shaping up here nicely. But anyways, game number 3 has started. M2KC versus Charlotte Phoenix, currently 1-1 on Hook Point. Yeah,
very back and forth series so far. All tied up 1-1, like I mentioned. Let's see what they decide to do. Full blind on Brain once again. Drake gets behind the pillar, and it's going to be a big opener on Drake. Touch of Karma has to trade immediately as the crowd control on Brain is basically never-ending. Busking Protection comes in. They want more from Drake. Pre-Fortifying Brew on any more incoming damage. It's going to be a high-value Fortifying Brew, and Brain does manage to connect the heals. Now looking to reverse the pressure with a full stun on Corlick into a Blinding Light with a leg sweep onto Jamili. Massive damage. He gets out. That's going to be a Temporal Shield as well as a Battle Masters to increase his health. And Jamili does manage to hold on to the Cauterize at the cost of Corlick's Trinket as well as that Sacrifice. So both teams exchanging cooldowns in the early stages, but I would say I feel like the Charlotte Phoenix came out a bit ahead.
I think Corlick is realizing that he's not a target, so he's going to use that Gladiator's Medallion and Sacrifice a lot more frequently. I'm curious if M2KC actually looked to punish that. Do you think? I think Windwalker Mage, if Corlick is a little bit too kind of out there in terms of using cooldowns, that he could actually end up regretting it. Brain is currently polymorphed, no karma for Drake. Trying to force diffuse magic here, but he's actually just pushing forward. Touch of Death, big damage potential. Jamili Temporal Shields the Touch of Death hit. That's going to be a ton of damage, though. It might proc Cauterize. Not enough. Just a little bit more. 1 second left on the polymorph. Corlic now into the Hammer of Justice. They're pushing for the Cauterize. Blazing Barrier activates. Triple stun by Drake. These leg sweeps have been MVP for M2KC. That's the Cauterize triggered, and M2KC get a massive lead.
Oh, M2KC are just powering up and looking better and better. The only real win condition that I see on the side of Charlotte Phoenix is the fact that Drake doesn't have his trinket because he used it in the start, and he still had the smoke bomb, but Nick just used his dress right there onto Drake, so they're not going to have that for a while. They bump off the Karma. They're still going for Drake, but I don't think they're going to be able to do too much here. Ceralium looking for a polymorph here, but Corlic is doing a great job avoiding it so far, and Drake now with the freedom looking to potentially get in there and get some pressure here onto Jamili. They're waiting for it. Ceralium gets Shadow Step kick, he gets Poly in, and now Jamili's looking for the Poly here onto Brain. Brain doesn't get the sacrifice, doesn't get anything here onto Drake. Drake is just completely by himself. No touch of Karma available for a little bit. Drake is just going to roll around and actually counter pressure. Full sheep secured onto Corlic. He's going to actually Divine Shield out of that one. Ceralium, beautiful counter pressure there, and they're going to turn their attention here over onto Nick. Just trying to shut him down a bit because Jamili stopped. So nice stuff here from M2KC. M2KC grabs themselves a massive lead there.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. Polymorph on Nick. Double leg sweep once again. Drake looking to set up his team. Ceralium is going to be able to find any crowd control. Corlic in the back line doesn't have too much healing to keep his team alive. Ceralium sneaks in a full polymorph. This is danger time for the Charlotte Phoenix, but they're trying to counter pressure. The smoke bomb drops down onto Drake. Extremely good job there by the Charlotte Phoenix, turning that situation on its head. Full Hammer of Justice now secured onto Brain as Drake is still on the run. Now charging in. Looking to get some damage rolling for his team. Can they get crowd control? Full Hammer of Justice on Corlic. Polymorph on to Nick. This is a beautiful setup. Jamili is left all by himself. Oh, Corlic gets blinded on his trinket. An absolute disaster. Jamili might be forced into his ice block if he can't slow down some of this damage. And it looks like he will be able to hold on. Corlic with the Vitality Conduit is more than enough healing. Now they might actually go after Ceralium in this matchup. Drake hasn't been working out for them too much in this match. I mean, there's been some close calls, but I think Ceralium's just getting way too much done on that mage, so potentially trying to shut him down with those kidney shots is going to work out better for them.
I think this is all coming down to Brain being like the most impossible paladin to kill. I feel like as Rogue Mage Paladin, you'd love to be bouncing between Brain and the Windwalker, but I swear Brain never dies on this Holy Paladin. Triple stun engagement by M2KC. Jamili immediately ice blocks. He'd just rather have the health. He cancels the ice block? Visaviri are flying still. Corlic doesn't have a great answer. Divine Favor. Now what? Bop in 17. He's just praying for ineffable truth at this point. Hammer of Justice on Brain. Triple crowd control threat by Charlotte Phoenix, but Brain anticipates it. Sacrificing at high health. Great sacrifice read by Brain. Mana slightly in favor of M2KC, although I feel like it's unlikely this game comes down to mana. Corlic trying to reposition. Ceralium gets line of sighted on his polymorph. Jamili is just being pressured heavily. Ceralium's trying to chase down Corlic here. Corlic on the other side of the pillar. Nick rolling forward onto Ceralium. They're more committed to the mage, but they're down Cauterize, they're down Ice Block. They go for blind. Nice crowd control by Charlotte Phoenix. They just need a bit more damage here. Nice sap out of the blind. This has to be a Divine Shield or a Cauterize. No way, right? A Battle Master? They're just going to get with only a Battle Master and a Temporal Shield. Ceralium now recovers back to full health. It's time to go, go, go. Jamili in a ton of trouble.
Oh, here we go. Full Ring of Frost, but Corlic gets a sacrifice in the nick of time. Are they going to swap to him? He gets an ineffable proc, and look at his bubble cooldown right there. Just jumped back. It's ready now. So Corlic's going to have that to work with. But Brain gets swapped to the most impossible paladin in the game to kill. Is going to use his Divine Shield right there. Getting swapped to Brain. Definitely having a close call right there, but he goes in for the Blinding Light. Drake's looking for Jamili. Corlic immediately responds with the bubble. Doesn't want to have to use the sacrifice as well, so bubble on early HP using the wings and just basically countering that setup with heals. Corlic has his trinket and sacrifice. There is the sacrifice actually by Corlic a little bit prematurely. He was literally just the art there, so I'm not sure what that was all about, but Corlic now has basically nothing to save Jaw with, so there's a 45-second window here for M2KC where they can win, but there's also a window for Charlotte Phoenix where they can kill Brain, and it might look like they're going for it. Here we go, big damage. Do they have a kidney shot to follow it up? They do. Vanish Garrote, maybe something. Jamili gets the spell steal. No,
Brain never dies.
Brain never dies.
I don't know. These have been pretty close calls. I feel like Brain might be a little bit vulnerable here, but they get the Hammer of Justice on Corlic. Full stun on Jamili. He uses every man for himself, Temporal Shield, and he should be able to survive. Potentially, Corlic really doesn't have too many emergency cooldowns. and Brain is saying, you know what, goodbye. If you're going after me, I'm going to be across the map behind the pillar. Is really, really good positioning. Nick is now charging in, but Drake is there to defend. Cerulean just looking for the polymorphs as well. If they connect on Brain, Brain is going to be in a lot of trouble. If all 3 members of Charlotte Phoenix can get there, they could absolutely win this game. But once again, Corlick caught into a full polymorph. But Jamili seems to be okay. He diffuses the situation with some polymorphs onto Cerulean. Maybe Nick's going to be taking a little bit of damage, but with the evasion, completely avoids that. And still, it's going to be Brain who is absolutely horrified right now. If he gets caught on top of Charlotte Phoenix, it's going to be lights out.
All right, triple Ring of Frost. Oh, breaks to damage. It's unfortunate here for Charlotte Phoenix. Another swap to Brain. He's got wall ready. He's got Paralyze on Jamili. Great peels by Drake. Brain's just going to walk the combustion off. They go for the Garrote. They're really powering through for the kill here. Avenging Wrath, dressed again. Brain needs to fake out the interrupts. There's no interrupts. Brain clutches a huge heal with the Avenging Wrath. Brain never dies, man. I'm just going to keep saying it until maybe he does, but I swear he's the most difficult paladin in the game to kill. He's running this game to the absolute wire. No mana left. He goes for the Hammer of Justice. Maybe a swap to Corlick. Try and get the Divine Shield. I don't think they're finding pressure, although going after Brain seems to have stalled their assaults. They go for Blinding Light instead. Brain stunned up here. He breaks out. Every man for himself. Line of sights with the Blessing of Freedom, avoiding Jamili on the cheap shot. Drake caught into a sap. Not really able to help. And look, Brain's totally out of mana. Still keeping himself alive. Perfect positioning from Brain and completely calculated. That Ineffable Truth just proc. He got his Divine Shield back off cooldown. I think he's going to survive at least another stun, but in the meantime, where's the opening? Do you go after Corlick, Jamili, or Nick? They all have their defense available. They stun up Brain. They really need to get Divine Shield with this. Holy Avenger needs to get a Holy Shock proc. He gets it. Goes for the Divine Favor. He's so low on health. If he gets kicked here, it's game over. It's not available. Actually, it just goes for the Divine Shield, Hammer of Justice.
There it is. Oh, they're going for the swap here onto Corlick. The only viable kill option here for M2KC, but Corlick is going to be able to survive that one. And now, Brain, I don't know. You are truly immortal. If you can survive this game, Brain, from this situation, you are the hardest paladin to kill. I will agree with Sid for now, but Brain, no mana left. Full Garrote. Nick's all over him. How is he going to survive? The Hammer of Justice onto Nick. They're swapping over to Nick, but Nick doesn't take any damage there. I think he read it there with a preemptive feint or something. Brain still just waddling around with 0 mana, waddling around in Cerulean's Ring of Frost. They're just trying to do what he can. Sheep onto Corlick, Brain in a kidney shot.
No way.
Smoke bomb gets dropped. Vivify from Drake gets interrupted. Hammer of Justice. Jamili's not even there, but I don't think Brain's going to be able to survive this one. And the hardest paladin in the game to kill falls, Sid.
That was actually really, really sad for M2KC. And Jamili, I don't think he did any damage. We can see it in the replay, but I'm pretty sure Jamili was entirely, in a polymorph for that setup. So a little bit unfortunate there, but we'll definitely have to see. You actually mentioned it to your credit, CPTs, during the game that as a Rogue Mage Paladin, you want to be going after the Paladin. And it seems like them just kind of going after Brain and just controlling up Drake and Cerulean seemed to be a much better strategy for them.
It actually felt like that was they were forced to do that because they were losing the Mage race, they were losing the Windwalker race, and they had forced all the Paladin cooldowns. So they went on Brain, and I think they realize now that when they go on Brain, they actually shut down so much. And is he running a single Versa, Brain?
I think he does run a mix. Pretty sure he runs a mix. Oh, no, he isn't.
No,
He's
running 33 ineffable.
Yeah, so Brain actually has very, very little damage reduction from that Versa stat. So it's a great way for them to get pressure and to just stop their chains completely.
Yeah, well played by Charlotte Phoenix, now up 2-1 against M2KC. But, they put those guys off. M2KC put it off for quite a long time. There were many times when we thought Brain was going to go down, and he just didn't die for so long. So well played by M2KC. We're going to have to see how they do here in game number 4. Do you think that, though, Charlotte Phoenix might take this home with a 3-1, Zico, or is M2KC going to fight back stronger in this next game?
We're going to game 5 100%.
I was right!
100%?
Yes.
100%.
They're
going to pick a big map. It's 100%. There's no way.
100% seems like a bit of a, I could see like a 98%, 97. We're leaving no room at all for Charlotte Phoenix to win. There's a 0% chance I could win.
There's 0% chance that Charlotte Phoenix wins this next game. What's going to happen is we're going to go to a little bit larger map. Brain is not going to be a target. They're going to get destroyed again in the Mage/Windwalker race, and we're going to go to game 5. It's going to be a bit of a smaller map, and against all odds, M2KC, the Mew Mew Kitty Cats, are going to just pounds their way back in the series.
I want everyone to remember that what Zico just said, just in case it doesn't happen.
I've already written it down.
Drip.
It's set in stone 100% for Zico for game number 5 here. Looks like we are going to be locking in Tiger's Peak. Both of these compositions are locked in as well for M2KC as well as Charlotte Phoenix. Supatees, what do you think is going to come out of game number 5, or this next game, excuse me, from these teams?
Well, it's just a good map with more open space. So the Rogue Mage Paladin wants to just gun down the healer, possibly switch to Windwalker, maybe if Cerulean Ice Blocks go Mage. But generally speaking, because Paladins don't run that Conflict and Strife normally, or they run very low versatility, unlike a lot of other healers that you try and kill, they're a lot more exploitable as a target for Rogue Mage. Pretty much every other healer in the game, I'm trying to think of one that doesn't run full versatility, maybe a Resto Druid, but we don't even see those, so I don't consider them. Paladin's the only healer that doesn't run like complete full versatility tank build, so attacking them as Rogue Mage is always great if you can get away with it.
And on the side of M2KC, or Charlotte Phoenix up against M2KC here, what do you think their target is? Who do you think they're going to go after, if not Brain, as we saw in that last game, Zico?
They'll probably do Windwalker/Paladin swaps. I think Windwalker main target, and if you're Charlotte Phoenix, and maybe if there's a sacrifice or if there's an opening like in the last game when Brain doesn't have his ways to basically break out of stuns, I could see a swap like that happen. But what I do like about both of these teams is that they're not afraid to, if somebody uses their defense to save somebody in his team, they're not afraid to swap their strategy around and focus that target. We saw Cerulean use an offensive block. They swapped to him previously. And similar, both teams were swapping to Paladin last game. So honestly, everybody is a target right now. And we have the opener here, Blind, Sap. Touch of Karma gets immediately Blessing of Protection. Drake going for the roll here. Is he going to survive though? Nick with the grapple weapon. He's got to connect with the smoke bomb. Fist of Fury.
0%, huh? I'm sorry, Zico. What were you saying?
Brain never dies.
Brain never dies. The Charlotte Phoenix have no chance. Okay.
I was trying to be on Aya's side here, okay? Boring if everyone's predicting 3-1,
Shaq,
okay?
you know what? I did predict a game 5 as well, but don't listen, man.